couldn't care less if it's an NFL licensed apparel. I whatever. Who cares? I'm with Pizzola. Just win, cover spreads.
It just seems like a really weird thing to get very upset about.
I agree.
But Jeff is not really like a grown man. You know what I'm saying? He is like a Gen Z. He's like a 20-year-old kid at heart.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog the Week 7 Best Bets. Reminder to all you good people out there to smash the like to this episode. And if you want $500 in your pocket, you can get into a draw to do that. And there's a lot of easy ways to do this. One, sub to Mayo Media Network on YouTube. That's an easy one. Just do that right now. Thank you for doing that. Additionally, if you subscribe, rate, and review 5 stars, the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast on Apple and Spotify, boom, you're in the draw again. If you've done it before, do it again. Bump yourself up to the very top of the list, all right? Rob and Cam on the line with me right now as we mourn Cam's picks of the Carolina Panthers.
Fuck them. They're dead to me.
They have to be.
All I've done with that franchise is give my money, heart, and soul. They fucked so many teasers. I'm done. I said it was over. It's official. I might ban them forever. At least till next week. Bye, Carolina. I don't even look at their games anymore. They could be getting 20 this week. I don't care. In Tennessee, you're fucking close, you fucking losers. I watched that game against Indianapolis. They should have won that game by a mile. I know the refs jobbed them, but they suck too. Now they're getting 8.5. I'm looking, going, it's very tempting. But no, I just, enough. There's other games I'm going to bet this week. I'm sick and tired of this crap.
Cam,
stick to the plan.
Good news. They're getting 9.5 now.
Who?
The Titans.
That's all right. Now, you can't see you're first 9 times free. It's not just the first time with you, right, Mayo? Like, I'm coming in, you're on the street, you got new product. Hey, it's my old buddy Cam. He's back from Cam H. From rehab. He looks fresh. I know how to knock this guy out. Couple extra. Hey, I'll give you, how about an 80 for a 40, friend? Remember the good old days? No, I'm not falling for it anymore. I'll do it regularly like a normal human being. Shop at the price that is there. I don't want a deal. I don't want any tricks. I don't want value. I want a damn win. That's all I want.
Well, I think Rob's looking for a win in his gold picks because once again, the gold pick falters. This is a promo for you to check out Rob's actual gold picks on the Forward Progress YouTube channel and the hammer.bet. Isn't that right, Rob?
No. So I'll level with the audience here. I give up picks that I bet here on the show. Obviously there's some situations where me and Pat overlap and I don't use, I have to not use the pick. We agreed to that at the beginning of the year, but no, the best plays this year have not done well overall. And you just got to own it sometimes. I honestly don't really care. I'm having a decent season. And if you want to hear me talk about every single game, you can do that on Forward Progress weekly. We do that on the Wednesday Best Bets show, but no, you got to own it. It's not been a great year for the goal picks. And we're going to turn it around this week.
I would say this though, Pat. And I don't know if I'm different than anybody else. My mind is easily swayed, as you guys know. Honestly,
no. Don't say that about yourself. No way.
Well, anyway, I feel sorry. Like if I meet somebody with hypnotic skills, I'm basically going to be giving them my life savings, my house, like basically an advanced carny. Like the guy's going to own me for the rest of my life because I just, sounds good. Oh, really? Okay, good investment deal. I'm in. What are we? New cryptocurrency? Tell me more. Anything. I basically, it's got a shiny package or a good sales pitch. I'm in, but I'm done now. We're going to turn this thing around, Rob. I switch it. That's the whole thing. Early in the week, I like Denver. On Sunday, I look and go, you know what? The Chargers is the play. I switch a lot of plays, but it is what it is on the show. I've taken Carolina. I tried to make a bold statement, and all it does is make me look like a jackass, and I can make myself look like a jackass. I don't need a loser team to. So that's the end of that. Let's move forward.
Well, I was 2-1 last week. I hit the gold, and I got off the schneid on the silver. That was nice for me. Although, there we are. Green Bay -5.
Pat, before you continue, you were right.
No. I see that I won. Hold on. I see that I won my gold pick with Chicago. Yep. I was told that they were going to lose by 1,000,000 points.
No, we didn't say that at all. But we will say this: we tried to give you reasons for Jacksonville. This is me and Pizzola. We're men. We're not like these you internet warriors, we were fucking wrong.
Exactly.
They murdered them. The Jacksonville Jaguars suck. They are horrible. They're Steffi Graf looks like shit. Their coach is shit. Everybody, they are the worst pussy. Yeah, the cat theme, they're done. Like, you think the Carolina Panthers suck? The Jags are even a worse cat because they're supposed to be good. And I'll tell you this, Pat, we're done. But they might blow out New England this week. But I'm not touching that game either. I got too many damn problems with shit teams. We're going to do some other things this week. We're going to mix it up.
I also forgot that I had taken the Eagles as silver last week. And I got to tell you, I cannot, as a human being, deal with another blocked kick or blocked punt that goes for a touchdown. The Browns cannot possibly score. The only way they could score was a special blocking a kick and returning it for a touchdown. Anyways, we move on to this week.
Nick Sirianni needs to slow down too. Like, hey, dude, you're an NFL coach. Get a thicker skin. As I said, he's an embarrassment to Italians. Don't worry about what the fans say. Worry about your damn team. Like, what are you, 9 years old in your parents' basement? You cut me up.
He's a clown. He's a clown.
No, seriously, buddy. Like, are you that, like, get it together. Get bent, bro. Like, you can't worry about fans. You got to worry about your stupid football team. Numbnuts.
Get bent, bro.
Yeah, get bent.
I know.
You like that?
I do.
80s terms. They're coming back strong. I love Get Bent. It's one of my favorites, actually. I liked it a long time ago, and I'll like it forever.
I think next week's thumbnail is just going to be you on Bart Simpson's head telling someone to get bent. Telling Rob to get bent.
Yeah. It's a good term. It should have stayed alive, but I rekindle it all the time.
It'd be pretty easy to Photoshop my face onto Millhouses, so that would be not too bad.
The one this week,
Bart, my dad's a big wheel at the cracker factory. That's the best. I get to sleep in a race car bed. I get to go home and sleep with my wife in a real bed. I lie. The best episode, new episode, Kirk Van Houten's tape. Can I borrow a feeling? He got a music deal, Rob. God, I love that guy. Remember, can I borrow a feeling? What a song. I love that guy. Man, those old episodes are gold.
Oh, the best. Let's move to the gold picks for this week. Yes. We didn't get to the gold picks until 28 minutes into the show last week, so we'll get into it 7 minutes into the show this week. A reminder to everyone out there that if you are not on Underdog yet, you should do that. Use code Mayo. And by using code Mayo, if you're a new player, you get a free pick on Thursday Night Football with Bo Nix, higher or lower than 0.5 total yards, passing, rushing, receiving, whatever it might be. You might not like Bo Nix, but he's going to go higher. Is there anyone, Rob, on this Saints team that you would just try to target in a prop? Like, I would go Juwan Johnson, higher yardage. That's where I would go.
Yeah, who's Bub Means?
Bub Means
is in there now at receiver, right? Because there's no Shaheed and no Olave. I don't know who Bub Means is, but he's a guy. He's going to be in there, so maybe he's a guy that you target as a prop.
There we go. That's who you can pair it up with.
Remember the running back from Geoff's Chargers? Datron Means business?
Datron Means.
Yeah, he's the original Means. The good one.
Maybe it's the son.
I mean, the other guy there that he caught some balls last week. I live bet him in the game was 2 weeks ago. Mason Tipton.
Yeah, Tipton.
Yeah, Tipton's good.
Tipton's, he's fucking
he's a
great.
baller.
Not Lipton, Tipton. Good pick on Johnson too, Rob. I know when I texted you told me, I know what? I love that low hanging fruit, those, receiving props at 14 and a half and stuff. Matt, remember that game with Kansas City? Juju Smith-Schuster was like 1.5 catches, whatever. The guy had 100 and something yards or whatever. It was I'm like, man, I wish I put the account on that. Those are the best props to bet. Low guys under 20 yards.
Wait, Rob, you were big on the Juwan Johnson high, like over prop in that Monday night game? Because I had to put money on it for Jeff after he texted me.
No, Rob liked it.
I listen. I don't want to I don't know if Jeff reached out to me or not. Cam texted me and said, "Any props that you like?" I said, "This is the prop that I like the most." I don't know if Jeff messaged me or not about it. Maybe he did his own research. I don't remember. I would love to throw Jeff under the bus and say he's just taking my picks and claiming them as his own, but I don't think he actually messaged me that day about that.
I'll do it. I'll throw myself under the bus. I did my own picks, but I asked you for that one and played it. So thank you.
No problem.
I tell the truth. One thing about me, Rob, is I tell the truth. It might be stupid.
No one would ever accuse you of sometimes you say a little too much, I would say.
I agree. That's another thing that needs to be stopped. I'm going to get arrested one of these days. Like, this stuff lives. The thing I like about newspaper is it dies because no one knows how to run a microfiche anymore. Like, you burn that bad boy, this stuff in the technology age, I'm in big trouble, man. Like, I got to shut the fuck up. Just enough.
It could always be used against you. My good friend Eric Eager got hired as the VP of analytics for Carolina Panthers this year. And immediately we had to go and check all the tape from last year because we did some live watch-alongs where Carolina games and stuff like that. And
your buddy works for the Panthers, and you didn't tell me this till this week. Oh my God!
Would you have not bet on the Panthers?
Well, I don't know. Like, there's obviously it's not going very well in the.
Well, how much impact do you think do you know who their owner is? How much impact do you think anyone in the organization has?
You're right. The owner's he's the king stooge. Out of the stooges. Yeah.
But I will say, like, one thing you say about Bryce Young will be on tape forever. And you go get hired by an organization that has Bryce Young as the quarterback. Got to be really careful these days. Mm-hmm. These people, they can dig into your past on anything. Anything you say is out there forever.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm done.
Well, here's one thing that Jeff and Tim have been talking about a lot. They're really triggered over Mike McDaniel not wearing an official Miami Dolphins hat at press conferences. And they're like spiraling out of control with anger. Do you care about any of this?
No. I was going to say of everyone I know, they are the two most likely to be triggered by something. I have never once cared about what a coach wore to a press conference. Never once in my life, or what they wore on the sideline. Like, I can't even tell you. I have like negative feelings towards this in the sense that I couldn't give a shit about any of that. I can. I don't know about you, but
I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Just win bets. Like,
exactly.
I don't care what the hell you're wearing. Yeah. If you're wearing some China, I remember back in the day, I was buying Bengals jerseys off the trucks, and Ocho Cinco spelt wrong, and one line's a little bit thicker than the other on the Bengals stripes. I'm it's $30 off the back of a truck. It's not official NFL gear. Oh, I spoke too much again. Buying hijinks merchandise and stuff that's stolen. Sorry, I'll shut up. But anyway, I couldn't care less if it's an NFL licensed apparel. I whatever. Who cares? I'm with Pizzola. Just win. Cover spreads.
It just seems like a really weird thing to get very upset about.
I agree.
But Jeff is not really like a grown man. You know what I'm saying? He is like a Gen Z. He's like a 20-year-old kid at heart. He's a kid in a man's body. He cares about all of this. This minutia of stuff that I've never even thought about in my entire life. Like, when I see him once a week now, because we record together in person, and he's always bringing up something. He's like, did you see this? I'm like, I would never come across that ever. Where did you even find that?
Rumble.
And that's him to his, exactly.
Yeah, Cam talked about doing his own research earlier. Jeff is the king of doing his own research. Let's get to these gold picks, because I got one for you, and I want to lock it in before the spread goes up even more. I'm going against your mighty Carolina Panthers here, Cam. Washington, who rebound against Carolina. It's -8 now. I bet it at 7.5 earlier, yesterday. I'll bet it again at 8. I'll bet it again at 9.5. They're going to beat them by 40 points.
They could. I got no debate. Not going to get involved like Rob did with Jacksonville. I wish you luck on your pick. For me, Commanders and teasers or nothing. As I said, I have to stick to it this time. Like, the guys from rehab, they can't let me go into the same facility 9 times and say I'm going to get better. Oh, Mr. Stewart, you're back again. No, I have to at least try to live in the community for a while. You know, right? I'm saying, Rob, they're not going to let me in one more time if I keep this bullshit up. Shenanigans. Yeah, no, yep. I can't bet Carolina. So good luck to you, Pat.
So there's the two best offenses in football right now. There's the Washington Commanders have the best offense in football. Rob, do you know who the second best per game basis offense is in football?
What metric per game? What, yards or?
I don't know. I just saw it. It's the team that plays Carolina.
Oh, right. The team that plays
the Commanders,
like whoever plays whoever plays Carolina each week is trailing only Washington as the best offense.
Got it. I see what you're saying right now. Listen, I can't argue with you. I love the over in this game. I bet the over in this game. I think Washington's going to score 40 points because there's no way Carolina can stop anybody right now. They don't have any defensive personnel. They're signing guys off of other teams' practice squads now just to fill the defensive line. It's a disaster. I actually thought my model was broken when I ran it this week because I was like, what's going on with this Carolina defense? It's historically bad. They suck. On the other side, listen, Dalton should be able to do me enough to get
20,
do enough to get 20. Yeah, exactly. Type of situation like he did against Atlanta. He'll throw a fucking pick in the red zone like last week or something when they're driving the field. Sorry to bring up bad memories, Cam, but they can score. Right. But Washington's going to score at will. Like Carolina just drops into cover 3 all the time. And Jaden Daniels has like a 57% success rate against cover 3. I don't know how they're going to get stops. I don't know.
The thing is, Rob, we do a pick 6 too, and I went 5-1 on 2. I had Carolina on 1 and Tennessee on the other. And I'm just sitting there going, well, it's thousands of dollars. I just can't take it anymore. Like, there's only so many times like I can go into a fight and get beat up and come back more. Like I'm going to die in the ring. Yeah, so I'm done. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want to be able to like not eat soup.
You don't want to die in the ring. You want to die of old age.
I'll die on air. That's probably
no. Don't say that. Please don't say that. I don't want to.
Dude. And by the way, Tim Anderson, I used to work with Mike Bullard. He used to do a segment called Cam the Compulsive Gambler. Like he used, because that guy was really struggling. Like he was like, he couldn't have extra segments. And I used to do the morning show and he's like, hey, you seem like a chipper friendly type of guy who's got energy. I'm like, am I getting paid for this fucking shit? I just did a morning show. He's like, nah, come on. We'll do Cam the Compulsive Gambler. He was really nice to me though, but we milked it pretty good. I got to give you credit though. The guy was very nice to me. So I have no ill will towards, very friendly to me. But now that Tim killed another person, as I said, this is just it's getting serious.
Well, he called Mike Williams a top 10 receiver before the year started, Rob.
Oh man.
Hey, he's falling on every play this year. Like, what's up with this guy?
The underdog tweet today of Mike Williams actually just made me completely crack up. Like Mike Williams, like in brackets, they usually put an injury and it's like ran the wrong route and got cut.
Exactly. Slipped, fell.
So good, man.
It's unreal.
So good.
Every play. He was the reason in that London game too. There's like Rodgers, like he doesn't come back to the ball. He slips. He runs the wrong pattern. He's down. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on with this guy.
It's pretty convenient that he's always running the wrong route, yet Rodgers is always targeting him on the biggest play of the game and wildly underthrowing him and then blaming it on him.
Yeah, it's a good point, Pat. I see your point of view as well. It's a real, like, just don't throw him the ball. And why would you?
No, they don't have
Mike Williams ran the wrong route and the Jets immediately traded for Devontae Adams. Doesn't practice Wednesday. Yeah, no shit.
So Washington is going to be my gold pick. Rob or Cam can step up.
Rob can go second here. I still don't know what to do.
Okay.
I almost don't even want to do this because of how big of a mush the gold picks have been this year. But I'm going to anyways. I'm going to go to a former friend of the program, DK, and I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks +3 -150.
That was my gold pick.
I thought you didn't know what your gold pick was.
It's Seattle. I love Seattle this week. Like I love it. And now me and Rob are doomed. Every time it's like me and him both like, it's just, I'm that guy at the horse race. We're winning by 70 lengths. My horse trip. I had a race at Woodbine, Pat. My horse fucking went like he bucked to the side and went over the rail. The jockey, the guy almost died. Like there was no traffic. There was nothing. He's just running there. Nice 8-1 winner. No, he's gone. Like the guy just, what happened? He looked at some guy in the stands, hit the rail, and the jockey got flipped. Like nothing made it happen. There's no traffic, no nothing, just craziness. But I'm with Rob. I think Seattle wins this game outright.
You guys,
go ahead.
You guys went together last week on Detroit, and that worked out.
Yeah, I think when me and Cam do go together, it's not bad.
Let's go. Woo! I like it. Yeah. Here's the deal. Good. They're going to win this game, Pat. Everyone's like, ooh, Atlanta. Atlanta does it with smoke and mirrors. Seattle might be burned up in the defense, but I'll tell you, they're going to carve that Atlanta defense like a hot knife through butter, buddy. It's going to be fine.
Atlanta doesn't get any pressure on any quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like that's been the kryptonite for Seattle the last few weeks. San Fran, the Giants, even Detroit, Hutchinson was blowing them up. I mean, they still scored points in that game, but also like Seattle's coming off a horrible schedule. They played 3 games in 11 days. They had to do some traveling. They had the Widowmaker spot against the Detroit Lions, the New York Giants, the one where they lost at home, team on extra rest versus team on short rest. They're not as bad as they have looked recently. And Geno will look good when he's not facing pressure. Atlanta closed 2.5 at home against Tampa and against New Orleans. They fluked out the win against Tampa. They didn't cover against New Orleans. They've been price adjusted up. I don't think that there's that big of a difference between the two teams. So now you need Atlanta to win by 4 to lose the bet. A team that's like plays a ton of close games. By the way, like last week too, I know Cam lost with Carolina, but it was 28-20
I know.
in that game. Carolina's driving the field. Like, Atlanta did not put away the Panthers for the majority of the game last week either, and the Panthers suck. So,
That's
yeah,
the
give
thing,
me
Rob.
Seattle.
If people don't look at these games and go, "Oh, I look at the box score and this guy's picks suck," I thought I was going to win that game, and I thought I was going to win the Tennessee game. But that's life. I'm on the wrong side of these things.
But when you take these loser teams week after
Yes.
week, when you think
do
that
bad
they're
things.
going to cover, it's like, oh yeah, now Will Levis is going to do something incredibly stupid to lose the game.
Agreed.
There
You're
you go.
right. You're
Agreed.
right. Yeah, my boy Blessing used to tell me water finds its level, but not in my fucking lake. It never finds its level. It sucks.
You drained all the
But
good
to
water.
Pat's point,
You drained all the
Pat's
good
point.
water out of that lake up north, and now there's no good water left.
You're right. I did. I should have
Used-
bottled that shit. It's better than the holy water. It's true. I haven't been the same since. It's not the same.
But it's no
It's
different. It's no
It's
different.
spring water.
It's no different than Jacksonville and London last week, Rob, where you could say, "Hey, listen, they dropped like 3 touchdowns, but they do it every week." Like, am I supposed,
the
am I
Bears
supposed to,
dominated
am I
them, though,
supposed to
too.
pretend like they don't do these things?
That was different though. 'Cause
I
the
agree.
The Bears were marching up and down, but yes, the show. And also Jacksonville got every third and a million 5-yard holding penalty, automatic first down. It was almost like on a loop. I'm like,
you knew it was over after the first.
Yeah.
After Jacksonville didn't punch in a touchdown, and when Gabe Davis dropped the touchdown, to
Yep.
Pat's point, bad teams do those things, but you knew it was done. Like, it was the thing with Jacksonville is at least they went into the year as like a good team with expectation. I wasn't ready to give up on the Jags yet. That's my own fault. They do suck, but I wasn't there yet. Whereas like these other shit teams, Carolina, like, no, thank you. Don't want anything to do with some of that crap. You know, there's other teams that just didn't have the expectations going into the year. We know their shit. Anyways, I regret it. We move on. Jags sucked last week.
Okay, well, let me ask you this about the Jags this week. Should they be favored by 5.5 points over anyone?
They're going to kill New England.
No, they aren't. They're going to lose
I
to New
almost made
England.
Would you like to bet me?
Sure,
on
I'll bet you.
something?
I'll bet you. I'll bet you. What do you want
Okay,
to?
so what do you wanna bet?
I'll set,
I don't like-
an
okay.
Asian handicap for this bet. Asian handicap.
If the money line's plus 205, you give me 2-1, we can bet it.
Yeah, I'll give you 2-1. You're in. So what do I get? Are we betting meat, currency? Any like I like the barter system. Anything you got that I want? What do you want from me?
We'll make it a gentlemanly
Both.
bet. I'll put up 50. You put up 100. Or do you want to go
That's
bigger?
fair. I kind of want to do like more. I like food or something along those lines, or
But
alcohol.
you know you're getting the steaks from me for Christmas anyway.
That's very Pat, and I've always appreciated those steaks. I got to be honest with you. It's one of my happiest days when I fill that freezer. Yeah, I'm in. I'll give you 2-1.
Okay,
You're sold. Done.
just they're this is the way to get rid of Doug Peterson, Rob.
I think so.
The
It's
team has
actually a
quit.
good point.
The team has quit.
It's entirely possible. They suck. I don't know. I don't have any opinion on I really actually wanted to bet the over in this game, but looks like it's going to rain pretty hard in London. And I actually don't even know what the wind does at Wembley Stadium, honestly. It's like a half open roof type of situation.
What, the model doesn't talk about it or no?
No, because we don't have games there. We don't have football games there. I have no idea how it's going to. But both defenses are trash. And I'm kind of like, I would rather the Patriots than the Jags, but I won't bet the side in the game.
The weird thing about this one, to look at it, and Paul brought this up to me because last week you were all like, well, the Jags, they know London. Of course they're going to win. And I heard that point repeated ad nauseum. And now I talked to Jeff on the spread show and like, oh, this is the spot. This is where you bet the Jags. We have a sample of 1 year where they upset the Bills in this game. But Paul made a really good point that, they are more familiar right now and being over there and acclimatized to the time zone in the city. But they also, Rob, know where to get into trouble in London.
That's a great point.
Mm.
And right now, when you're a crap team, they're probably thinking, who gives a shit? Like, we suck, our coach. Yeah, it's a loss. It's a great point. So, and London is a real danger. Like, and the way they keep pubs open and the way those Brits drink, like it's open all night. It's not like here, bars are closed. No, you can go all day there. You can find these guys with no teeth sleeping on, using the curb as a pillow. So that's the whole thing. Yeah, you're right. It's a great place to get into trouble.
These are the points Cam
London.
wanted to hear before he gave you 2-1 on New England.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm like, well, okay. It's not too slick, but anyway, I'll be fine with it.
I was in
Take
London
my
this
drunk.
summer and I saw the Denmark-England game. I went out to a pub with a couple of people contributors to Mayo Media Network. So we met up at the pub, went out, and I drank so much I passed out for 23 hours.
We've been there.
Kind of ruined not gonna lie, kind of ruined the three-day trip.
Yeah,
I know,
I would
I've been
say
there,
if you're going out
Pat,
to
I've been
London
there.
for 3 days, you probably don't want to be out cold for 24
I went to
hours.
Mississippi State on a 4-day bender, like everything, not just.
I remember
like, you know
that
what I mean?
actually
Like,
back in the day.
and I
we
fell
were working
asleep.
together.
I couldn't. Well, it was 4 days. Like, and Pizzola knows. Like, I'm not just sound like some guy. Like, I can really like throw him back. I mean, like
Can't
forever.
put him back. Yeah.
But then I hit a wall where I thought I was going to die, and I fell asleep on a pallet. And these kids are throwing rocks at me. Like, everyone was watching, going, "Who the hell's this big red-faced guy? These kids are throwing rocks at him." I'm like, "Yeah, stop!" But anyway, they're pelting me with rocks, and I guess I deserved it. But great times.
Great times getting pelted in an alley.
No, but it was an awesome trip. We went to Jukesy's place. It was Mississippi State. That was when Odell Beckham played for LSU. Mississippi State versus LSU. It was a great trip. Great trip.
For almost about 2 decades, the irons were really the only good part of my golf game, unless you include 300-yard drives, which meant hitting it about 150 yards straight and 150 yards with slice into the woods to the right. So I finally went and got lessons, straightened out my swing, and all of a sudden I could drive the ball pretty decently, pretty straight. And then my irons just kind of went wayward with the new compression that I was getting onto the ball. So it was time for me to make a change with my irons. So when I heard about the new PXG Black Ops irons and how they can dramatically improve my game, I had to give them a try. Booked a fitting with the PXG location, brought in my current irons, and took the PXG challenge. The staff was amazing. We worked on my ball flight through TrackMan in order to find the perfect irons and the perfect length and the perfect loft for what my game demands these days. And the new Black Ops irons are incredibly easy to hit, they maximize performance, and they're fun. Oh, and they're only $149.99 a stick. That is a great price for a great golf iron. So take the PXG Irons Challenge. It's a ton of fun, and if PXG's new Black Ops irons don't outperform your current irons by delivering either more distance or tighter dispersion, that means better accuracy, during your fitting, you'll get a $250 MasterCards reward card. Hurry, this offer ends October 7th. Book your fitting today at pxg.com. That's pxg.com. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. What's something you'd like to learn? Gardening? A new language? Or, for me personally, how to finally beat your best friend in golf? Not cuss, but, my other friends. I want to beat them at golf. I can beat cuss, no problem. Therapy can help reconnect you with your sense of wonder because your back-to-school era can come, honestly, at any age. It's helpful learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries, and it empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major traumas. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All the best things that you need. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/PatMayo today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PatMayo. Let's get to the silver selections for week number 7. Rob, do you want to lead this off or do you want me to go again?
I'll actually lead it off. Pat.
Okay, let's hear it.
Wow.
San Francisco. Revenge. -1.5.
Oh, it's up to
Kansas City.
1.5 now.
Great team.
Oh,
can I get better? I got
Wait
better.
one second.
Better.
I might be able to get you a 1.
I got you a 1.
One's everywhere,
No, it's
right?
just
I got you a 1 at
one?
Bet365 right now.
Sold.
yeah.
Give me San Francisco 1. I think they win this game. Super Bowl revenge. They're going to be up for this game. Kansas City. I know they win games. They haven't sometimes they cover numbers. I just honestly, even in the Saints game, there's mistakes being made. This is a huge game for San Francisco. I like them, Rob, to win this game by 10 points. So I will take the 49ers. I know this is crazy. You're like, out of all the games, but you know what? You say don't bet on shit teams. I'll bet on San Francisco. -1, please. I think they actually win this game by margin.
I like San Francisco in this game.
Thank you.
Not
I
enough.
know a lot of people won't.
Not
That's
enough to
fine.
put real money on it, but if I was forced to pick, I'd pick San Francisco.
Well, I like 5 things and I always pick the wrong ones. And I wrote down the first 3 on the list instead of I always use the bottom 2 and it never works. So I'm going in order. San Francisco, please.
Like, to look at this, Rob, Kansas City's been sleepwalking through the season with great success so far. That eventually they're going to get got in one of these spots, and this feels like it.
It could be. So I just don't like betting against Mahomes when he just has to win a game. I don't. I mean, Mahomes has had 28 games career where he's been an underdog or a favorite of 2.5 or less. And he's won 22 of those. He's 22-6 against the spread and straight up in those games. The outright expected win percentage is 48%. He's won them at almost a 72% clip. They find a way. It doesn't matter how bad they're playing. You look at they just find ways to win games. I don't like betting against the Chiefs when they just need to win a game. I'm not saying you guys are wrong because I just don't want to be.
Oh, I understand the argument, but
yeah.
I don't care. Like, it's just one of those things where I take Pat's approach to it. One of these games they're going to get bit, and this is the one that I think is going to happen. And you're right, Rob. Like, I have no data to back this up. Kansas City is a pick 'em or getting points. Like, it's almost like a blind bet. But I think there's a lot of factors in with San Francisco. I thought the Super Bowl, they got jobbed on a crazy injury that they probably would have won the game. They had this team under control. I think Purdy's going to play well in this game. I think the Niners are ready to rock. So I'm taking San Francisco to win this game. That's all they got to do.
All right. They're not going to make my card, but Rob, are they going to make yours?
San Francisco?
No, Kansas City.
No, I'm not betting this game. I'm not betting this game. I would, if you asked me to pick, I'm going to take KC just to win the game. They're not making the card, but I will give a silver pick. And I'm going to take the Vikings -1.
Fuck, that was my silver pick.
I knew it.
I told you guys. I know this. Whatever. We will deal with it this year. We will regroup.
Oh, this is Cam. You're not affected by this. This is just Rob and I who are affected. And since since we've instituted this rule, my record's still just like way better than it was before.
It's working for you. I'm just saying, you're taking you don't have to not be on somebody's picks. If you like the game, you like the game. But anyway, no, you're right. This is between you and Rob. This is none of my fucking business. But you know what? Hey, I get it.
For 2 years, during every single show, you said, I wish we could cover more games. I wish we could do more. And now that we're actually doing it, you're like, no, you don't have to do it anymore. You got to make up your mind, man. You got to make up your mind, man.
You are correct. I will actually admit you are correct with that statement. I am wrong. I'm just saying I like both of you. If you both like a game, but you're right. We cover more games this way. So you know what? You guys, you're okay.
Okay.
So you both like Minnesota. So,
I bet Detroit last week. I thought it was a great matchup for them. They could push around the Cowboys defense. They did. I don't think this is a great matchup for them. And first of all, like Aiden Hutchinson, everyone knows Aiden Hutchinson's out now. It's in the market, but the drop off is so substantial. Like, they have no other pass rushers on the team going up against the Minnesota O-line that's very good, especially the tackles. I don't see how they're going to generate pressure in the game. Maybe you get a Sam Darnold pumpkin game. I know it's going to come at some point or another, but I don't think it's going to happen against this defense. On the other side, how easy has it been for the Lions offense this year? They played the Rams. They played the Bucks. The Bucks had 1 million injuries on defense.
Seattle.
They played the Cardinals. Seattle with 1 million injuries on defense. Dallas with 1 million. They finally have to play a real defense. I think this is just a bad matchup for Detroit. I still think they're a very good football team. Don't get me wrong, but they're going to Minnesota. Huge home field advantage, divisional game for them off the bye. I'm glad someone bet Detroit today because I can get Minnesota at a better price here at 1.5.
Yeah, I was surprised. I guess I'm not surprised it went down from 2.5 to 1.5 because anyone who looks at it will just assume that the Vikings are going to turn back into a pumpkin. And I'm still not really a believer of like, hey, this Minnesota team's a Super Bowl team. I'm not there with them. Where I do think that Detroit will see defensively if they can hold up without Hutchinson. Because with Hutchinson, their defense has been very good this year. I think it's really covered up a lot of the flaws they have in the back end by generating that amount of pressure. So I'm with you. And then I see it on the other side. I know that their offensive line can hold up, but with the different types of pressure that Minnesota can bring, be it blitzing or not, and the different looks that they give you with the Flores defense, Rob, I've seen just Goff fold under pressure when you can get to him. They do a good job of giving him time, but the moment he doesn't, he turns back into that Jared Goff we all laughed at when the trade happened.
Yeah, I think the big thing for them in the last few weeks, the Cowboys and Seahawks, what do those teams have in common? Their front seven is destroyed on defense. They have no defensive linemen. And the Lions bullied them. They up front and they could run the ball very effectively. Minnesota is very different. I think the Lions will have some success, but yes, I don't think this is like the 99th percentile game for Goff. This is a real challenge against Flores. And I agree with everything you said, Pat.
So I'll cross off Minnesota as my silver pick and bump up my bronze to the silver spot. I'm going to Monday Night Football, and I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens -3.5 against Tampa. You just talked about Atlanta and how they seem a bit overinflated in the market right now based on how they've actually played. And I kind of feel the same thing about the Bucs. Like, I think that the Bucs and Atlanta are so close, they're a coin flip, and I really think that the Ravens are the second best team in the league.
Yeah. I don't have a strong opinion, but I don't want to bet the Bucs. I played the over in this game as well. A lot of the same stuff here on the Baltimore offense. I just think the Baltimore offense is really good. People are obsessing about Vita Vea, like, oh, how's Baltimore going to move the ball when they can't run? Well, they're still going to be able to run the ball. Like, it's not like it's going to be completely done for. And if they can't, they can move the ball through the air. I think Baltimore is just a more complete team. The hook kind of scares me in this game a little bit, but yeah, just I don't want to. I'm done fading the Ravens. I'll tell you that. Back-to-back weeks now. I've suffered some painful losses there. I'm done with that.
If I know Tampa's offense has been really good, but even to watch them against New Orleans last week when they just randomly gave up 27 points in the second quarter, Cam, and Baker just turned into a pumpkin for 15 minutes. Like, if that happens this week, or even half of that happens this week against Baltimore, Baltimore will lay the smackdown on them. They're going to probably lay the smackdown on them anyway, and they just don't make, like, Baltimore's defense isn't great, but it's fine. Tampa's defense is bad.
Baltimore's secondary, I think, is weak, but other parts of their defense are strong. I will say they're very just offensively, though, at any time. Like, it's just so dangerous. They beat you with the run. They beat you with the pass. Lamar can do it with his feet. Like you saw in that game, the Commanders were there, right, Rob? Like, you were watching. I know you're on the Commanders. It's like, there they are. But Baltimore just every time response. And Tampa Bay, you don't want to trade points with Baltimore. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Baltimore's. And I thought Washington did a really good job of containing Lamar in that game. Like, that was very clear that that's what they were trying to do defensively, was just keep Lamar in the pocket, and if he beat you, he beat you. Guess what? He beat him anyway.
I know.
He did.
Offense is great for that team. I mean, it really is. They can beat you in so many ways. Zay Flowers can get tons of separation downfield. Even Mark Andrews kind of like had the coming out party again this year. They have so many weapons.
They got three good tight ends. Like, Likely's good and Kolar's even good. Like, they're fine. Like, they're just a very good football. Like, their offense is lethal.
Really well coached as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Baltimore 3.5 for me is my silver. Let's move to the bronze. Cam, do you have one right away, or is it between Rob and I?
The line is switched, but I don't care. I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins +3 against Indianapolis. I got 3.5. I'm not going to lie. I bet it at 3.5. I would love the hook, but I can't find it anywhere. I'm looking on two sites. I see 3 on both of them now. So unless you guys can find me, I will still take it at 3. I'm always begging, but I'm not going to beg
anymore. It's just
a
3 right now, unfortunately.
I told you. New Cam, not begging, not begging, just taking 3. Give me Miami. I don't care. The fucking Colts are this team. You want to talk about another team? Like, I don't even know how they're doing it. It's just, to me, it's just brutal. And I know Miami's not good. I don't care. But this is a spot where I'm getting points with Miami. I think they win the game by 1-3. They're getting 3. Give me the Miami Dolphins. I don't care. Huntley, I don't even care who the quarterback is. If Thompson comes in, doesn't matter to me. I'm not laying points with the Colts. And the fact that Richardson's starting, I like it more. Thank you. If Flacco would start it, I'd be like, nah, I might not even pick it. Good. Take Richardson. He'll make so many mistakes in this game. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the Dolphins for that reason. I think Richardson is a big downgrade from Flacco. Flacco didn't play well last week, but Richardson is so boom or bust, and his accuracy downfield just leads to so much more mistakes. Listen, Miami could still be shit with Huntley off a bye, but they have an extra week to prepare. They have, in my opinion, a very big mismatch with McDaniel against Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley just wants to sit and hang out and cover 3. If you look at whenever he's gone up against good offensive coordinators, I would consider McDaniel good offensive mind. They've really struggled. I can't get here with the Colts with Richardson. Like, they need to win by 4 with Richardson. Probably Jonathan Taylor not playing again this week. Still injuries on defense. I'm on board with you, Cam. I was considering this potentially as a bronze for me.
I got to stick to my guns, right? There's other things that I like. And as I said, it's just my instincts. If I just did them, I'd be having a way better year. I'm thinking too much. I'm doing dumb stuff. I'm trying to be cute with Carolina and making stay. No, you said it, Rob. Like, they're horrible. These teams are horrible. I'm done. Like, but you can't lay point. Indianapolis, in my opinion, isn't a great team, and I don't lay points with these type of teams. So I will take points.
Unless you're Houston in the AFC South, you're terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Indy's going to have a really good schedule down the stretch for them this year. They're going to be like, they have a decent chance to get in the playoffs. If you look at their schedule, they're going to get in, and they're just a fraud, I think, of a team. I mean, I don't even know if Richardson can get there, to be honest. They're going to need to. I'm honestly surprised they're not sticking with Flacco, to be serious. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they know that they're not serious, and the only way for them to get serious is by giving Richardson reps and getting him better. Yeah. And he can't do that by sitting behind Flacco.
Yeah, that's true. But the problem is, Pat, with these teams, like, this is the problem with the NFL. They make decisions before, like, you know what I mean? Like, the decision's already been made. And it's like, this is the guy we're going with. And it's like Cleveland and Deshaun Watson. It's like, I know Jameis Winston, the players would do better if he was there with some kind of inspiration.
I need to throw some water on this, because this is what I've been hearing, and I probably have said it too. But I think that when we think of Jameis Winston, we're thinking about Tampa Bay Jameis Winston, and that was years ago. Like, yeah, he might also be not good.
But he cannot be worse. He can't.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We're talking about Deshaun Watson is worse than Bryce Young.
If you play Jameis Winston, you might win a game. If you win games, you don't get the first overall pick.
Agreed. However,
there's other guys on the damn team that are playing for a future. That's the whole problem. It's not a one-man show. It ain't golf or tennis.
Well, at this point, I think the season's a lost cause. If they had made this switch 3 weeks ago, you don't know. Listen, maybe Stefanski knows, maybe ownership knows. We don't know. But to me, Winston at least has the upside of being like a league average quarterback. That's his upside. And that is good enough for Cleveland to do damage because of their defense. With Watson, they are useless. They're terrible. I don't want nothing to do with Cleveland ever. People are raving about his second half last week against the Eagles, where he went like 11 straight completions. Did anyone watch these completions? They're all checkdowns. He threw one slant. He cannot do anything. Anyways, I agree. At this point, it's a lost cause. Just fucking play him the rest of the season. Trade away all your assets. Get a high draft pick, rebuild for the future years, because they're not going anywhere.
They should have just traded Stefanski to the Jets or the Jags. That was the move, and get a draft pick for him.
Yeah. And that guy's clearly being held hostage, by the way. You think Stefanski wants to go out and play this loser? Ownership has told him, figure it out.
Yeah. Ownership ruins everything, because they're sacrificing other. The thing about footballers, there's many other guys. There's an offensive line. There's a team. There's everybody. There's other coaches there, and you're hurting them. That's the whole thing. It's not about Deshaun Watson and his fucking horrible deal and guaranteed money. You're just killing everybody, and that's the thing. And once these guys quit, you know what they might do, Rob? And we've talked about this. One game, they just might say, fuck this shit, part the seat, and then get Watson absolutely murdered. So Winston has to come in the game just to make a statement, despite the season being done. Because it's done.
Yeah, it's done.
If we're looking for any outs for Watson, despite the way that I comped him on Sunday night, or I forget what show it was on, is that, remember Raul Mondesi used to just kind of flick his wrist and he'd throw it from the right field wall to third base? Mm-hmm. Watson takes like a full Hideo Nomo windup to throw a 4-yard pass.
Yeah, he does.
And he still can't throw it.
Yeah.
There needs to be like some sort of study into what happened to that guy's body. He has no mechanics anymore, and he has no arm strength. I don't know what happened. Guy's toast, completely toast. I will not bet on Cleveland this year. I will not bet on Cleveland. I gotta be honest with you, Rob. With that guy started.
It's funny. Another Clemson quarterback, and I'm not going to say to the Watson level. Trevor Lawrence has some problems when I watch him with his mechanics, and I'm not comparing him to Watson because that's insane. But take a look, Jacksonville. He is not the same quarterback. He can't read coverages. His arm looks different. He's not figuring it out. He is a different quarterback than he was a couple of years ago. Big time.
But don't you think that when Jacksonville gets rid of Doug Peterson and Press Taylor, they're going to bring in a real coach? I feel like Lawrence is going to fix it, figure it out. Deshaun Watson can't figure it out. You're
right, Rob. But I'm just saying, Trevor Lawrence's skill set a couple of years ago and the things that he did was really, really, he's not the same guy. He could still do it. He's not dead like Watson, but he's regressing at a pace that I'm concerned about. That is my opinion.
For a quote unquote generational talent.
Yes.
Not so generational.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I should have said.
Are you worried about the Miami +3 at all, Cam, if they fine Mike McDaniel 80 points on this game because he didn't wear the right hat?
I'm worried about everything with Miami. But anyway, I don't care about his fucking apparel, his vape pen, or whatever. I'm betting these guys, and probably should have picked another game, but Rob's with me. We just take points with.
I don't mind betting. I don't mind betting a shit team if they're playing what I consider to be another shit team
and getting points.
Like who are the Colts to win by? Like you're asking them to win by 4?
I agree.
Yeah, they can do it, but they're not going to do it all that. They fucking lost to Jacksonville, dude. They the Colts lost to Jacksonville. Like, what are we talking about here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Rob, do you have a bronze? Because I'm still between like 4 games here. Which one I want to land on?
I also am
Happens
between games.
All right, let's talk it through then.
Okay.
I already bet the Patriots with Cam, so I'll leave them off. I like I like Vegas against the Rams.
So do I.
So do
I.
I.
Made my card.
It's almost
right
there.
After Miami.
I'm
again bet a shit team against another shit team.
Yeah, exactly.
Cooper Kupp
extra points.
Cooper Kupp might be back for this game.
He's not going to play. I don't think he's going to play.
Don't worry about it. He'll be a decoy if he does. Don't worry about it.
I don't think he's
it's
playing.
Decoy time. You're on the right track here. Me and Rob are going to talk you with this one. We're not going to give you a Jacksonville tip against the Bears. I think this one's a little bit better. I think we're taking you in the right direction.
I like Arizona at home against the Chargers.
So do I. Wow.
I do too, but it wouldn't be one of my picks. So
yeah, but that's where I'm at. Like, I don't feel great about any of these. I kind of like the Jets -2 in Pittsburgh.
So do I.
So I like the Jets, and I like the Texans getting 3.
So do
and I like the Packers. So if you take the Texans, I'll take the Jets.
No, we can't go against each other because it takes away the 9 in a week.
I'm not.
He does. He has his opinion.
I'm not. We're not.
But he
going
also has
an
opinion.
But we're also not. It's not like I'm taking the Packers. Like, I like the Packers, but I'll leave that game to Rob, and I'll take the Jets.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, let's do that. I'll take the Texans getting 3. Yeah. Getting 3. They have a lot of injuries. I'm fully aware of them before people jump in and be like, oh, you know, this guy's out and that guy. I get it. I think the Packers had the exact. I said it, I think, on this show last week. I bet Packers -14.5, -17.5 last week. I bet all sorts of alt spreads on the Packers last week. They had the best matchup against the Cardinals, a team that cannot pressure the quarterback. Marvin Harrison Jr. got hurt early in that game as well. This to me is completely different. Yes, they might be missing guys in the secondary, the Texans, but they have 2 very good pass rushers. Jordan Love waits for plays to develop downfield. He's very reliant on explosive plays. I think this is a closer game. And you know, it's being valued like Green Bay is a lot better than Houston right now. I don't necessarily agree. So I'll take Texans 3.
And we talk about this Jets game, Pat. Good. I hope Russell Wilson plays. So when he does that little scamp around that he used to do with the Seattle, and he's way slower than he was before and loses like 17 yards on the play, we'll be setting up great field position. I like the Jets in that game.
Yeah, I worry that TJ Watt just blows up this terrible offensive line. But
that's an issue.
I will say the Jets' offenses looked pretty good.
Yeah. Also, like, what about the other side of the ball? Russell Wilson. Why are they changing the one game where you want Justin Fields is the game where the interior, like, look at Pittsburgh's interior O-line. It sucks. Where do the Jets get all the pressure from? Interior. Where does Russell Wilson struggle historically? You can't see over these guys in the middle of the field. What the? Like, I don't know why this switch is happening this week.
Justin Fields can run for a first down and do the little things. Even I know he can't see the field downfield, but that's not the issue here. The issue is you have a mobile quarterback that can extend plays, and all Pittsburgh has to do is basically win the field position battle with their defense.
Yes.
You're all the positive you have, you turn negative in this game. I can't believe the Steelers are doing this either. It's an idiotic move.
Or they're saying that Russell Wilson's starting, and then the last second they'll just start Justin Fields and make the Jets prepare for both of them. There's that too.
Well, I do think that there's a possibility of Fields playing red zone snaps this week. I think that's within the realm of possibility. Also, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here for a second. I don't really like to do the conspiracies all that often, but they promised Russell Wilson in the offseason that he was going to be their starter. He didn't end up being their starter because he got hurt. If you wanted to stick with Fields, in the long run, but still kind of honor your promise to Russell Wilson. You feed him to the Wolves in the worst possible matchup for him.
Actually, that's not a tinfoil hat. That's actually a very logical answer.
I think it's a tinfoil hat, but I could see it. I could totally see it because Tomlin's a loyal guy. He's a guy that through and through, loyalty matters to him. He told Russ he was going to start. He's getting him to start. But this is a game where he could get killed and he can turn around and then say to Russ, listen, sorry, we got to go with the quarterback that was winning us games. Tinfoil hat, maybe there's something there.
You guys like the Titans or the Bills?
Nothing.
Bills.
Okay.
The Bills. Amari Cooper is going to have 400 yards receiving in this game. All they're going to do is throw to Amari Cooper.
So we haven't gone through, since we do every game, Philadelphia Giants.
I'm waiting for the hook to appear. It looks like is there 3.5 anywhere yet, Rob? Because it's happening soon.
Not yet. There's no 3.5 yet.
It's coming.
I really wanted the Giants until Andrew Thomas got ruled out for the year, because without Andrew Thomas, Daniel Jones turns into a complete pumpkin for his entire
I like
career.
Daniel Jones. I think he's had a great year and he deserves some respect.
Yeah, with his amazing 7 points against a terrible Bengals defense.
Hey,
big 15 against Dallas on Thursday Night Football.
Settle down.
Well.
Their coaches aren't doing them any favors.
Oh, sorry. How about that 18 he put up on Washington this year?
I actually think that their coaches are doing him every favor they have, and this is what we get.
The problem with the offense
is
there's no explosiveness. He can't throw downfield. Everything is a 3-yard pass for Daniel Jones, and they methodically move up the field, and they have to score touchdowns, and they can't. They kick a million field goals. So they get these I like the under in this game because Daniel Jones goes on these 9-minute drives and they settle for a 47-yard field goal somehow after all of that.
Yeah, I would.
And one more, Pat, one more, and then I'll shut up. Battle of Ohio. Bengals or Browns?
I like the Browns. I'm not betting it,
okay,
though.
fair enough. I'm not betting it.
I'm not betting on the Browns, but I'm not going to bet on Cincinnati -6 in division on the road.
What do you think,
either.
Rob?
I'm not betting on the Browns ever. I'm not doing it with this team. They needed a fucking blocked kick returned for a touchdown last week. They can't score on the Eagles. How are they going to score on anyone? I have my tinfoil hat too. The Eagles were that spread was one of the biggest. Everybody and their mother was on the fucking Eagles last week, and it was some bullshit way to cover a spread because they were the least public dog. That was Cleveland versus Philadelphia. Well, everybody and their mother was on Washington against Cleveland the week before, and they smoked them.
Yeah. It's because Washington is still undervalued by the market because people don't realize how good they actually are offensively.
Yeah, I've been betting Washington a lot, so I'm not going to disagree with you there.
And listen, they could have easily covered the spread last week against Baltimore. They just didn't. Baltimore's good. Mm-hmm. No one covers every week.
I would rather personally bet the under than the Browns because I don't see a situation where they score ever. And you're hoping that their defense is just going to hold Joe Burrow in check like they do every year. The defenses play very well against the Bengals every year. It's like a fucking house of horrors for Joe Burrow in Cleveland. He sucks there every single season. But the offense is so bad. I cannot bring myself to the position to click Cleveland unless I feel like I'm getting an absurd amount of points. And I don't feel that here.
To recap the picks, I have Washington, Baltimore, and the New York Jets as my 3. Rob has Seattle, Minnesota, and Houston as his 3. And Cam, you have Seattle, San Francisco, and Miami. Like some dogs this week. You got 2 dogs.
I usually have 3, but Carolina's been banned and Tennessee is on the fence, so there will be less.
Well, you did bet Jacksonville. They're a favorite, so you're really hammering down on the favorites.
Yeah, it's true.
But you also gave me 2-1 on the money line play.
No. You gave me 2-1.
2-1.
Oh,
you got 1-2. You got 1-2.
Yes. I'm not trying to pull any fast ones here. Yeah, so I get 50 if Jacksonville wins, and you get 100 if Pats win.
If the Pats win. Now, there was some good news from last week. We won a teaser because everyone won a teaser last week.
Hello.
We're hot.
Well, yep.
Do it again. Can we do
pour some gas on that fire this week, baby? Let's go.
I think we should do like a 10-banger. I think we're going to knock them out of the park.
We win 1 in 6. We win 1 in 6 weeks. Let's turn it into 10.
I'm telling you, the bigger it gets, the better it gets. I think with all of our dogs, we just jack them up, all of them.
Well, as is Cam. You know what? We'll pick our 3, and then you can rapid fire off the teases that you like. All right. So which one do you want as the one you want to nominate?
Great question, Pat. Let's see here. I don't want to do my game because that's just too many things that are involved.
Okay.
Can you give me the Raiders to 12.5?
Sure. Raiders at 12.5. I'll put on Washington -2, Rob, and you will go with?
I was going to go Washington
You go,
-2.
you go Bills
Or
minus.
Cardinals.
I'll go Arizona 8.5.
Yeah,
I like
that.
So here's the tease.
We got saved because of Denver last week and the Chargers, because I teased Denver up to the 8.5 against the Chargers, and then the Chargers jumped out to their lead, then they did nothing the rest of the game, which was very helpful.
Honestly, it was really shaping up to be a classic Chargers game. They were up like 23-0, and all of a sudden Denver was firing. But you know what? Maybe it is a new leaf for Geoff's Chargers this year. No, I like Arizona teased up.
All right.
I'm not going to touch the other game, Pat. Here's the way it's going to go down. The Bills -2.5. You got Houston +8.5. You got the Miami Dolphins +9. You got Seattle +9. You got Lions. I would go with the Lions +7.5. But you guys are different than me. I like the Giants +9. I will take Bengals pick'em against Cleveland. Washington -2.5 against Carolina. Raiders +12.5 against the Rams. I like San Francisco, but you guys don't play the crossover game. I do because I really don't care. Jets, Pittsburgh. I don't know what to do with that game. It's a crossover game, and I don't actually. Would you take the Steelers 7.5? But I kind of like the Jets. And Buccaneers, Ravens. I would. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to stop with the crossovers and Cardinals +8.5. Those are all the games in the teaser.
Now, when we see your winning ticket on Sunday, when you tweet this out or tell us about it after Monday Night Football, you'll have teased the Ravens to +2.5. I know it.
Probably, yeah. I'm not gonna deny that. I'm actually going to probably tease San Francisco to like 4.5 or do something cross the numbers too. I just don't care. If you want to, yeah.
I see, Rob. I like your alt line shout out of what you said last week with Green Bay. Is there any game here that could go that way? Because there is one that I'm looking at that I'm like, I could see this game going so wrong so badly for this team. And then all of a sudden there's two. I could see the Jets beating the Steelers like 35-3. And I could see the same thing with the Eagles and Giants. Despite the fact that I would bet the Giants +3.5, I could see the Eagles killing them.
Yep. Eagles are a good alt line team, in my opinion. I usually like to target games where I think there could be a lot of variance. I know you guys don't like this, but I would put like Bengals -21.5 alts. Because there's so many chances that the Browns can get blown out.
Obviously, what about Carolina and Washington too, Rob? What about Washington by 22.5 or 20?
Same thing, but the Washington's I'm not saying the Bengals defense is good. I'm not trying to say that, but Carolina can move the ball on Washington. I don't think Cleveland can move the ball on anyone. So that makes it so much more likely that they can get a blowout. I also wouldn't mind going to something like Seattle -5.5 instead of. Those are the types of things I like.
I got to tell you, I kind of think Atlanta beats the crap out of Seattle.
It could happen. It's well within the range of possibility.
Just like after, and listen, I get that San Francisco's defense is really beat up, and yeah, they were generating pressure. But even like, especially in the first half, Geno had time, and he was just missing dudes.
Yeah, that's Geno outdoor. Geno indoor is very different.
I like Geno indoor.
Geno indoor is the king. He's the king of the turf.
Geno. That's a good call, actually, Rob. Geno is really good indoor. Geno's the guy. He doesn't like nature. He likes it indoors, nice and easy. Sits there, smokes a couple blunts, nice, and just chills out. I'm going to say this: me and Rob are both on Seattle, so be buyer beware. But it worked with the Lions last week. End of discussion. I think we can do it, Rob. Go Seahawks.
It's true. Do you think that Aaron Rodgers was intentionally missing those throws so they would get Devontae Adams?
The trade was already done prior to this.
Yeah. But then why wasn't it done? Why didn't he play? Because Jeff told us the same thing, that it was done, and then it didn't happen until after the game. Why were they waiting?
There was a few hiccups with the league office.
Oh,
because they really could have used him in that game.
Like the Leafs.
I can't say much more than this, but it was already done.
The fax machine at Commissioner Goodell's office couldn't fire, like Jonas Hoagland. Yeah,
it was done. The trade was done.
Office.
All right. Well, I'll have all of our picks in the Saturday evening newsletter. Cam, you're on Sports Grid, and I know that you like the newsletter, and people can sub to that down in the description.
Rob brought up the best point. In paper form, like you just read that thing when you're on the can. It's great reading material. fantastic. I like to look at everything. You rank the fantasy guys and stuff. It's nice to go through. It's like a paper that you actually want to read with instead of newspapers today, which are glorified pamphlets. It's a very, very beautiful read.
Forward Progress YouTube channel and the Hammer.bet for Rob Pizzola. So you'll be talking through Saints Broncos live on Thursday night. That sounds like a whole lot of
Peyton
fun.
Bowl.
You know what? I've had worse games before. Last year, I had Tyson Bagent versus Bryce Young. Once you've experienced that on a Thursday night football, nothing can be. I mean, this will be close, though. Bo Nick, Spencer Rattler to be without an O-line and no weapons. That'll be a beauty.
Yeah, well,
tune in.
Make sure you temper what you say about Bo Nix, because you might be the head of analytics for the Denver Broncos next year.
Correct.
Not going to happen.
You sure?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have.
So is your buddy going to get fired from Carolina?
No, he's in his first year. They're mostly prepping for draft that's upcoming. They're just doing. It's a long-term thing. I don't think he was hired to turn the team around this year. I'll tell you that.
That will do it for me at the PME. The DraftKings show this week is with Davis, and it'll come out a little bit earlier because I'm off for a few days going away, and then I shall hopefully return on Saturday for the full update and then Sunday Night Live, but that's up in the air for the moment. I'm questionable for both of those shows at the moment, but hey, stay tuned. I'll have all of the shows for you that you normally expect, and maybe I end up missing one. Hopefully not. I released 2 extra ones this week to make up for it. So again, sub to the Pat Mayo Experience on Apple or Spotify. Leave that 5-star review and you're getting that draw for $500. You do the same if you sub to the Mayo Media YouTube channel right now. Okay? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!